No one in Maplewood remembered a Thanksgiving like this one. Cold winds slammed against the windows, the sky turned a strange copper gray, and the town felt unusually quiet, too quiet. It was the kind of silence children notice before adults do, and 9-year-old Mia felt it the moment she stepped outside that morning. Something about today felt different, not festive, not warm, not like the Thanksgiving she had imagined. She hugged her jacket tightly as she walked down the old neighborhood street, leaves swirling at her feet like tiny brown ghosts. Everyone else was busy preparing their feasts, laughing through windows, carrying bags of groceries. But Mia wasn't going home, not yet. She had overheard something she was never supposed to hear earlier that morning, while secretly looking for hidden Christmas gifts in her parents' closet. She heard her mother whisper, "Mark, I don't know how we're going to do Thanksgiving this year. The bills are too much. I don't even know if we can afford a turkey." Her father's voice came next, soft, defeated. "It's okay, we'll figure something out. But Mia can't know. She deserves a normal Thanksgiving." Mia froze in the doorway. Her parents, who always acted strong, always told her she didn't need to worry, were struggling. And she had no idea things were this bad. The realization hit her like icy water. They didn't even have enough money for Thanksgiving dinner. That's why Mia slipped out of the house before they woke up. She didn't want them to see her cry. She didn't want to make them feel like they failed. She just wanted to help somehow. As she walked, she kept replaying her parents' conversation in her mind. Each word felt heavier than the last. She always thought Thanksgiving was about food, decorations, and big family gatherings. She had never imagined it could also be a day filled with fear, fear of not having enough. Lost in her thoughts, Mia wandered deeper into the neighborhood until she reached a part of town she rarely visited. Rows of tiny houses stood close together, their roofs worn out, their lawns quiet. She didn't understand why she ended up here, but something pulled her forward. Then she noticed an old man sitting on a wooden chair outside a tiny blue house. He looked fragile, white hair, wrinkled skin, hands trembling slightly from the cold. But what caught Mia's attention wasn't his age, it was his eyes. They were sad, deeply sad. The kind of sadness she had only seen once, in her dad. The man looked up and forced a smile. "Cold morning for a walk," he said gently. Mia hesitated, then approached him. "Do you have anyone coming over for Thanksgiving?" she asked shyly. The old man chuckled softly, but the sound was hollow. "No, it's just me." His eyes drifted toward the empty porch. "Been that way for a few years now." Mia felt her chest tighten. "So you're spending Thanksgiving alone?" He nodded. "That's all right. Not everyone gets the warm holiday you see in movies." Mia didn't know what to say. She felt an odd connection to this stranger. He looked lonely, and she felt helpless. Maybe they weren't so different. "What's your name?" she asked. "Arthur," he replied. "And you?" "Mia." "Well, Mia," he said, "it's brave of you to wander around on a day like this. Most kids are excited about food and family gatherings." Mia lowered her head. "Not this year." Arthur raised an eyebrow. "Why not?" She hesitated. Should she tell him he was a stranger? But something about him felt trustworthy, comforting like a quiet warmth in the cold air. "My parents, they're in trouble," she whispered. "We don't have enough money for Thanksgiving dinner, and they think I don't know." Arthur's face softened. "That's a heavy thing for a child to carry." Mia nodded. "I wish I could help them." The old man stared at her for a long moment, then smiled in a way she didn't expect, gentle, knowing, almost wise. "Mia," he said, "Thanksgiving isn't about feasts. It's not about turkeys or pies. It's about understanding what you still have, even when everything else feels lost." She frowned. "But what do we have?" "Each other," he replied softly. "And sometimes, child, that's more than enough." A strange warmth filled Mia's heart. She didn't fully understand his words yet, but they felt meaningful. Then Arthur stood slowly from his chair. "Come inside for a moment," he said. "I want to show you something." Mia hesitated, but curiosity tugged her forward. Little did she know, walking through that door would change, not just her Thanksgiving, but her entire understanding of life. Arthur's home was small, quiet, and filled with a gentle warmth that surprised Mia. Faded photos lined the walls. Children, families, celebrations, moments that clearly belonged to a life he no longer had. Dusty bookshelves leaned slightly, holding memories instead of stories. But what caught her eye was a single framed photograph placed carefully on a wooden table. It showed Arthur with a young girl, maybe 7 or 8, laughing as he spun her around. They looked happy, full of life. "That's my daughter," Arthur said softly, noticing Mia's gaze. "Her name was Lily," Mia whispered. Arthur nodded. "She passed away when she was 10. Mia gasped quietly, her heart sinking. "And after that," Arthur continued, "her mother couldn't handle the pain. She left. I don't blame her. Everyone grieves differently." Mia felt tears sting her eyes. "You spent Thanksgiving alone since then?" He nodded. "I tried going out once or twice, but eventually the world kept moving forward without me." The sadness in his voice wasn't sharp. It was old, settled, like he had made peace with loneliness, even if it still hurt. Mia sat quietly, unsure what to say, but Arthur smiled. "Don't feel sad for me, child. You gave me company today, and that is more than I've had in years." Then he walked to a small cabinet and opened it. Inside was a simple loaf of bread, a few apples, and a jar of honey. "That's all I have for Thanksgiving," he said. "Would you share it with me?" Mia nodded instantly. They sat at his tiny table as Arthur cut the bread into slices. He spread honey over it, placed apple slices beside it, and slid a plate toward her. No turkey, no stuffing, no mashed potatoes, just bread, apples, and honey. But somehow it felt fuller than any Thanksgiving meal Mia had ever eaten. As they ate, Arthur told stories of Lily, how she loved butterflies, how she made him laugh every day, how she used to say, "Thanksgiving means saying thank you for the things you love, even if you don't have everything you want." Mia listened, mesmerized. Then Arthur looked at her and asked, "What are you thankful for, Mia?" She thought deeply. For the first time in her life, she didn't think about presents, food, or holidays. "I'm thankful for my parents," she said. "They don't have much, but they always try." Arthur's eyes softened. "Then tell them that." Mia nodded. When she finally stood to leave, Arthur placed something in her hands, a small wooden butterfly, carved carefully, beautifully. "Lily made this," he said. "I want you to have it. Let it remind you that Thanksgiving lives here." He pointed to her heart. Mia hugged him tightly. "Thank you," she whispered, "for everything." As she walked home, the sky slowly brightened, the cold wind softened, and her heart felt different, stronger, fuller. When she entered her house, her parents rushed toward her, worried, sick. "Mia, where were you?" her mother cried. Instead of answering, Mia hugged them both tightly, surprising them. "I know things are hard," she said softly, "but we still have each other, and that's enough." Her parents froze shocked. "How do you know that?" her father asked gently. Mia held up the wooden butterfly. "Someone taught me today." Her mother wiped her tears. "We don't have a big dinner this year," she said. "I hope that's okay." Mia smiled. "It's perfect." And that night they sat together with the simplest meal: macaroni, bread, and shared stories. But it felt like the richest Thanksgiving of their lives, because for the first time, they weren't celebrating food. They were celebrating gratitude. Moral of the story: true Thanksgiving isn't measured by the size of the feast, but by the depth of your gratitude. When you learn to appreciate what you already have: love, family connection, you discover the real meaning of Thanksgiving. Like, share, and subscribe message. If this story inspired you or touched your heart, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more meaningful stories that uplift, teach, and move the soul.